Hi guys, I'm Alpa Joshi. I'm a psychotherapist working in the UK. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Having worked as a biomedical scientist previously, I create content based on neuroscience, psychology, and some of the wisdom traditions. Now, having spoken to so many of my clients, they always tell me that this time of the year, we all kind of tend to reflect on what we've done well last year, what went well, what we would like to maybe do more of, what we would not like to repeat maybe. And some of these clients will tell me that they have a lot of New Year resolutions and they make plans in terms of their health and fitness. Maybe they want to write a book, maybe they want to become a better reader. But then what happens is by the end of January or beginning of February, all these resolutions tend to fade away. So if this resonates with you, in this video, we're going to discuss 5 different strategies that we can use that they can help us make sustainable progress in terms of our identity, in terms of our values, so that we can become the person we wish to be. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to identify our values. So values are defined as our personal identity, our individual identity, and they are like our heart's desires, something that's really, really important to us. So we have a sheet of values, different values, and clients normally tend to identify 10 different values. They could be related to their work, relationships, fitness, health, fun, leisure activities, whatever it is that's really important to them. And then we narrow them down into 3 to 5 core values, their personal identity, their heart's desire that means so much to them if they wanted to become their true authentic version. So we find the values first. Now, what's the difference between values and goals, you might say? So the goals are actually great in helping us achieve a target. So for example, if you want to become a marathon runner, your goal is to practice for the marathon. But then what happens to your fitness levels after you finish the marathon? Are you going to continue, or they might go down? For example, your goal is to clean your house. But then what happens? The house needs to be cleaned, say, every couple of weeks. So then what happens with that? Every action we take towards our value, it sort of helps us become the person we wish to be. It's like a vote for the person we wish to be. So that's why values are a little bit more important than achieving goals. They help us become the person we wish to be. So the aim here is to become a runner instead of being a marathon runner. The aim is to actually just go to the gym on a regular basis rather than think about going to the gym. The aim is to read a book on a daily basis, even if it's for a short time, instead of reading every now and then. So the aim is to become a reader. So if you're interested in finding your own values, there's a list of values in the note below the video. You can have a look at them later on. So the second thing we need to do is actually we need to find out and build our habits, daily habits, so that we can work towards those values. Now, healthful habits, what James Clear talks about in his book, Atomic Habit, there are 4 ways we can create healthful habits. Make them obvious, make them easy, attractive, and satisfying. So for example, if you wanted to regularly go to the gym, your value was to become fit and healthy, and you'd like to go to the gym regularly or go for a walk or run, what you can do is maybe get your clothes ready the night before. And so first thing in the morning when you wake up, you can see those clothes, you can see your shoes maybe in the corridor. And they say that the hardest thing about going to the gym is actually putting the clothes on, because once you've got ready, you're more likely to go. If you wanted to become a reader, maybe scattering books in your house so that whenever you go into your living room, you can see the book. If you wanted to become a healthy eater, maybe trying to place fruit on the dining table or create healthier habits by just placing healthy choices in your kitchen table so that you're more likely to do them. Conversely, if you want to get rid of a bad habit, you want to make it less attractive. So if you don't want to be drinking beer or alcohol, maybe putting them on the sort of bottom shelf of your fridge so you're less likely to see them. So making it unattractive and not very obvious, that will help you to reduce your unhealthful habits, your bad habits, and making it obvious, making it easy and attractive will help you increase your healthful habits, so you're more likely to do them, and so that you can become the person you wish to be. The third thing we need to do is choose the right behavior in line with our habits so that we can achieve our value. Now, there's a scientific research done, and it's known as 5-minute health interventions. And what they found was that people who did something for 5 minutes on a daily basis, it really improved their health and the quality of their well-being. And so I remember a client of mine, I was speaking to her a couple of days ago, and we talked about meditation, and she said, it's so difficult, I just don't have the time to do it. And I said, can you actually just do something for maybe 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes? And she said, yeah, I could do something in the morning for 2 to 5 minutes, or maybe just before going to sleep. So that's how we can build a habit very slowly, breaking it down into 2-minute rule or 5-minute health interventions, and we can actually regularly do them on a daily basis because it's achievable. A client of mine was told by the doctors to lose about 15 pounds because he was suffering from heart conditions. We managed to create a plan, and for him to go to the gym for 5 minutes on a daily basis. So he'd go to the gym, he'd go there for 5 minutes, sometimes maybe 10 minutes, and then he'll come back. And he did for a month. And by doing that, he realized that he was becoming a person who went to the gym. For him, the health was a very important factor in his life, and that made him really sort of happy, and he felt that this really feels good. I need to do more of this because it's in line with my values, which is to become healthier this year. So you're more likely to do something if you can show up for yourself. That's the most important part of this. So when we choose a behavior, when we show up for ourselves, we prove to ourselves that this is important for me. This is in line with who I want to be, and we are more likely to be doing it. So the fourth thing we need to do is we need to really become aware of our thoughts and our emotions and choose them wisely. In other words, becoming aware of our mindset, because whenever we try to do something new, our mind will always try to talk us out of it. Like, for example, what's the point of doing it? It didn't help last time. It didn't happen. Might as well give up. And some of the things we do, some of the habits that we have that release dopamine in short term, some of the unhealthful habits that we have, they release dopamine in short term. So, for example, eating a bar of chocolate will release that dopamine, or when you're scrolling on the phone and on social media, there's a short-term gain of dopamine release, and they make us feel really happy in short term, but in long term you might think you wasted some of your time in the day which you could have done without. And that's one of the reasons why healthful habits are not very pleasant in short term, but actually they make us feel happy in the longer term, and that's why people normally give up. So the last strategy is known as celebrating small victories and showing gratitude. And in psychology, it's known as meta emotion. So when you do something good for yourself, I always tell my clients that don't do something because I'm telling you to do something because it feels good. And so if you have done something that made you feel good about yourself, you're more likely to do that because you've shown up for yourself. You've done something that was important for you. It was in line with your true identity. So you're more likely to be doing that. By taking the actions that you've taken, you've casted a vote for the person you wish to become. And so that's why you're more likely to do that again. And that's why it's worth celebrating that small victory, even if it is a small victory, and celebrating and being thankful for the fact that you managed to do it. Even 1% of progress is still a progress. As you can see from the graph here, that progress is never a linear thing. It's always, there are lots and lots of ups and downs, but as long as we are progressing in the right direction, we are better than we were yesterday, that is still a progress, even if it's 1% of progress. So I hope you found the content helpful. Even if you can take one thing from this content and apply to your life, it would be wonderful. Because as they say, inspiration itself is not enough. We need to have intentional implementations. So in other words, taking actions in line with our true identity, our values, so that we can become the person we wish to be, our true authentic version, our true authentic self. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for watching.